Did you know marijuana is the third most used recreational drug in the United States behind alcohol and tobacco? Being someone whose grandma uses medical marijuana, I've become quite familiar with the drug. Marijuana is becoming a main focus point of many presidential candidates, and it's important to know what the drug is and why it should be legalized. Today I'll be talking about legalizing marijuana at a federal level, and my main points are what marijuana is, some background behind the legalization of it, why it's better than tobacco and alcohol, why it's not a gateway drug, economic benefits, and medical benefits. So what is marijuana? According to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, marijuana, also called weed, herb, pot, and grass, and a vast number of other slang terms, is a greenish-gray mixture of the dried flower of cannabis sativa. Marijuana can be smoked by a vaporizer or a cigarette or blunt, and it can also be eaten. When marijuana is smoked, tetrahydrocannabinol, also known as THC, and other chemicals in the plant pass from the lungs into the bloodstream, which rapidly carries them throughout the body to the brain. Some background behind the legalization of it. 10 states right now have legalized recreational marijuana, such as Colorado, Washington, Oregon, and other states. 33 states in the United States have legalized medical marijuana, Iowa being one such that does. According to Countable.us, on August 2nd, 1937, President FDR signed the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937, the first federal marijuana law which prohibited the substance, beginning in October of that year. And then Nixon's war on drugs declared it a Schedule I drug, which it is in most states today. And in 2012, Washington State and Vermont became the first states to legalize marijuana in the United States. One refute to legalizing marijuana is that it is worse than alcohol and tobacco, which just isn't true. Alcohol can be quite fatal. The CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, reports that nearly 88,000 alcohol-related deaths occur each year, and binge drinking accounted for about half of these deaths. According to Weed, the User's Guide by David Schmader, even aspirin can kill you if you take too much, but a fatal dose of marijuana would require ingestion of 1,500 pounds in 15 minutes, a physical impossibility for any human. And according to drugabuse.com, alcohol causes the most harm when it comes to crime, and men who take weed are less likely to commit violence against their partner. Tobacco is also seen to be worse than marijuana, and that a Harvard Medical School psychiatrist agreed that of the three, alcohol is the most addictive in terms of withdrawal. He and other experts also agreed that alcohol and tobacco are more difficult to give up than marijuana, and said it's easier to become dependent on alcohol and tobacco in the first place. According to PolitiFact.com, a 2008 report issued by a British Research Foundation found that when it comes to withdrawal, dependence, tolerance, and intoxication, marijuana is below nicotine. Many people also believe that marijuana is a gateway drug, and a gateway drug is a sort of drug or substance that leads others to other types of drugs, such as like heroin and more hardcore drugs. And according to Dr. Karen Van Gundy, an associate professor of sociology at the University of New Hampshire, whether marijuana smokers go on to use other illicit drugs depends more on social factors, like being exposed to stress and being unemployed, not so much whether they smoked a joint in the 8th grade. Because underage smoking and alcohol use typically precede marijuana use, marijuana is not the most common and is rarely the first illicit drug used. Even if it was proved that users of marijuana were significantly more likely to use other drugs, there's no way of knowing whether it was because of the gateway role of marijuana or whether other factors were at play. Legalizing marijuana can also lead to many other economic benefits, such as tax revenues. According to Fortune.com, sales in Colorado totaled over $996 million, leading to a state collecting more than $135 million in taxes and fees on medical and recreational marijuana. Sales of marijuana in North America was at 6.7 billion in 2016 and is expected to hit 20.1 billion by 2021. Legalizing marijuana can also create many jobs. By setting up nurseries and dispensaries, it can produce many jobs for people in the area. In a study done by RCG Economics, legalizing marijuana could support around 41,000 jobs, direct or indirectly, till 2024 in Nevada and around 81,000 in California. This also projects an increase in total labor income between the two states of about $5.2 billion. Another benefit from legalizing marijuana is the medical benefits. Right now it's only legal in 33 states, and it can help on many different, medical marijuana treats a list of diseases such as like Parkinson's, Crohn's disease, and seizure disorders. And my grandma being one of them, who suffers Parkinson's, she takes medical marijuana in order to help calm her and to reduce the shaking of it. And people with these disorders that do not live in these specified states, however, will not be able to get the treatment, which is yet another reason for legalizing marijuana. In conclusion, today I've told you about what marijuana is, the background behind legalizing of it, why it's better than alcohol and tobacco, the economic benefits, and the medical benefits. Legalization of marijuana as of now is only recognized at the state level of government and not at the federal level. It is clear that the legalization of marijuana at a national level can only benefit the United States.